Hello, YouTube. The countdown is over and the time is now. We have a warning. We had early confirmation, but as of right now, we do not have confirmation. So we're going to go through and give an update to the countdown we were talking about, exactly what that's going to mean for the S&P, meaning do we close over 474? Do we close under 466 or do we close in between? And this basically means that we were looking for a potential reversal, but the fact that we're not getting number 3 means that we don't have this keyword here being confirmation. So what is it? It's just a bit of a dip. That's all it is so far. We can look here to the NASDAQ, and we also note that exact same note. We have number 1, we have number 2, but we do not have number 3. So this is going to be very important. We have S&P notes. We got QQQ notes we're going to go through. But first, I want to talk about this data that came out today. Notably, CPI. If we look here, it came in hot. CPI came in hot. CPI year over year came in hot. Initial jobless claims came in lower. That is good. So this number is good for the economy. This number is not so good. We also had a 30-year bond auction. And tomorrow we got PPI. So with all this data, does it really matter what the data was? It matters a little bit less when we zoom out and we read the top bullet point right here. What has been the reaction on Friday to the Bitcoin ETF, to CPI, to PPI, the 10 and 30-year auction? We only got one data point left. That's PPI. So I don't particularly care what happened for one individual data point. What I care more about is the reaction. If we now look here to the S&P, what does that mean? It means we're closing higher on the week. So right now, the S&P is up by 1.8% on the week. We're looking at the number right here. We also note that the NASDAQ is up by 3.2%. Pretty big move. Also over last week's high, also filling that gap. Really, really notable. In Bitcoin, even though it's slightly down today, it's up by over 5% on the week. Pretty hard to say that's a sell the news when, yeah, we're a little bit red on the daily chart. But as of right now, we're still up by 5% on the week. And Ether is stealing the show. It is currently up by 17.5%. Big move. So if we recognize that there's one more data point left and we only have one more day, the question is, are we going to hold 476 or are we going to fall down in below? I think it's a lot less likely now that we're going to be closing under 466. We got some levels here for QQQ as well, 406.1. Where are we? We're above 406.1. So if we look here to our daily chart, we're not only not getting the bearish confirmation, we're actually getting some bullish signs right here. Notably, I want to go back here and look at the daily charts because we actually have an engulfing candle, right? This is actually now a bullish engulfing. Did we close over the candle high? 409.52? Not quite. It's a bullish engulfing candle, but not quite over the high. But what's really notable is that we've closed over 408.71. Red line, red number. Why does that matter? Well, if we look back in time, that is a retest and a claim of our previous all-time high. So to make this really simple, what it means is that we had a reason to go lower. The market decided, nope, not today. We're not going to go down. All right, if you're enjoying the show, I'm going to ask you for a huge favor. If you could please consider smashing that thumbs up and subscribing to the channel, that would be so muchly appreciated. Thank you very much ahead of time. I appreciate your support. So I want to dig down into this data a little bit more because I gave all these warnings on the weekend, and as of right now, it just looks like it was a scaredy pants. Yes, I understand that. What I want to do right now before we go back and look at the rest of the notes is just to take a second here to talk about what I told you later on the week as well. I said, hey, I'm either going to be number 1 or number 2, and the week's not closed out yet. So number 1 means that I'm going to buy and it goes lower. Number 2 means I do not buy and it goes higher. I'm definitely a number 1. I don't like buying stuff and then losing money. It gives me more regret than not buying something and watching it go higher. Why? Hey, if we think about the S&P 500, it's only up by, I don't know, it's up by how many cents? 104 cents, $1.04, or 0.22%. Man, it's been choppy. It's been volatile. I don't want to get caught up on that. What do I like? I like nice, clean, easy charts with easy entries and easy risk management. I don't like overstressing myself. So what does that mean? I zoom out to the very highest time frame where I have to be prepared for what could happen here. We go to SPX and we note the pattern I'm looking at. It's a repeat of November of 2020, November of 2023. We look at our box and there's only 2 things that can happen on this monthly chart here. I will provide a bigger update to that one on the weekend, but hopefully you had a chance to watch the one so far. So I'm not going to go and beat that dead horse. I've already talked about it many times. All right, here we go. Let's get through the rest of the news. So this data here is important, but I think, again, I think, not I know, I think what the market did was it's looking here like a stock chart where we have a high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, dead cat bounce, lower high, dead cat bounce, but it's a lower high versus here. So here we have 3.7, here we have 3.4. One data point does not constitute a trend. Just like here when we look on our weekly chart, we go to SPY. What do we note? Hey, we need 3 candles before we get a trend change. We get the warning, we get early confirmation, and then confirmation. So even though this reading is hot, I believe that what the market's doing is saying, you know what? We got the Fed exactly where we want them. Jerome Powell's not going to do anything, right? That's it. We win. He's going to blink, right? Who's going to blink? Jerome's going to blink. If we now look here to the March rate cut expectations, it's now at 70%. Whoa, that's a really big number. So that explains part of the reason why the market went higher. All right, now let's go back to our list here. Just before, let's have a look here. So if we look at what's been happening on the day, hey, it looks okay, unless you're Tesla or utilities. All right, well, let's zoom out to year to date. Okay, looking a lot better. There's definitely pockets of green and red. It's definitely mixed, and that's because the S&P is only up by $1. We can also note that we're actually dipping down a little bit. So even though, what did SPY do? It closed down by, oh my God, 21 cents down. Yep. But fear and greed did tick down 2 points. So we're really starting to flag out here. Let's look at our timeline. So extreme fear to extreme greed. We did this before, remember? Extreme greed, extreme fear. What did we do? Rinse, repeat. Going all the way back to October of 2022, we have the exact same thing. Extreme greed, extreme fear. Extreme greed, extreme fear. Extreme greed. Do you notice the pattern? I hope you do. All right. So now we understand one data point is not a trend. So we have a high, lower high, lower high, higher high. We're going to have to see a third candle to get that higher high, which means the Fed's going to, we're going to have to likely wait 1 more month until we're into the month of February to really get that data point. But the reason why this matters is because the Fed meets on March 20th. They will have likely 2 more data points, meaning 2 more CPI numbers before they go to that Fed March meeting. And right now, the market is pushing the Fed to cut in March. We better make sure we get the data to support it. All right. So what this means is that the bears had a chance to really capitalize on this, and they really failed to do it. They got the bearish engulfing candle, which means we did have a higher high. We did have a lower low. And through the morning, I was like, man, I don't know what's going to happen. I think I know, but I think and I am sure are different. The candle's now closed. We know what happened. What happened? Higher high, lower low, but it's a failed breakdown. It's an engulfing candle, and we're down by 21 cents. I would have expected the bears to capitalize on this and crank the chart down to strong support at 455. They did not. So what did they do instead? Well, we note here that they've been piling on massively short. We'll get another update at 4:30 on Friday. So at 4:30 on Friday, it's usually after the close. It's not usually there at 3:30. But anyways, if we go back here, bank earnings kick off tomorrow. That's a good reminder. But these short sellers are probably like, oh my God, what did we do? We did this exact same thing a year and a half ago. We shorted the hell out of the market. We lost a whole bunch of money. The market went straight up and we shorted it more. We went briefly long and then we're like, screw it, right back to short. Man, I don't know if these guys are right, but remember the saying, being early is just like being wrong. So don't be early. Wait for confirmation, which is what we keep saying. And you're probably not smarter than this guy. Maybe you are. I don't know. I don't think I am. Warren Buffett, the market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. So what I've been trying to drill all week is that we want to have patience to see whether or not the 3 scenarios play out. Close over 474, close in between, or close under. So come hang out for the final hour tomorrow where I'm going to walk you through all of this stuff. Otherwise, please watch the weekend video now queued up here on the left-hand side where I go into grave detail about what I thought would happen this week. And now that we're getting closer to the end, it might be a great time for a refresher. If not, that link on the right-hand side here is going to allow you to subscribe to the channel. Come hang out with us at 3 p.m. tomorrow for the final hour. If not, thank you so very much for your support. I wish you good luck tomorrow.